post-COVID business update as we see how the City of York has managed 1 year on from the reopening of retail, after a turbulent few years of lockdowns. The UK is preparing for a heatwave. The warm weather is set to hit the city with temperatures forecast to break 20 degrees centigrade at the weekend. Money raised from the York Flower Show at the weekend is set to be used to help restore the All Saints Church. Welcome to Yorkie Today. I'm Natasha Judge. Here's the news of the day. York Teaching Hospital has been awarded a £9 million grant from the government to make eco-friendly changes within hospitals in York and Bridlington. The money will provide energy-efficient improvements as well as new windows and low-carbon heat pumps. York is one of 4 cities to host an outdoor expedition of landscape photographers at the end of June at the Dame Judi Dench Walk. The expedition is set to be in York from the 26th of June and will showcase more than 60 photographs. A Grade 2 listed historic shelter in Ripon has been vandalised again, with the council set to charge police £60 an hour to review CCTV footage. It has already been restored twice after becoming badly decayed. Police are appealing for any witnesses to come forward. After over a year of uncertainty due to COVID-19, businesses and eateries around York were heavily impacted by restrictions and lockdowns. Here with more on business recoveries is Megan Eccles.
The 17th of May marks 1 year since the UK's COVID restrictions regarding shops reopening and indoor eating were removed. But with a continuous rise in online shopping and many customers turning to big corporate brands, what does this mean for the local high street?
It's coming back to life. York's getting busier and busier. Through the pandemic, winter was terrible, but we're slowly now starting to see it get back to normal. I think we were quite lucky in that we have the outdoor seating. If we haven't had that, I think the indoor side of it, obviously with getting people back indoors is quite a difficult thing. They're now slowly starting to get used to the habit of going back inside, but the outdoor seating definitely helps us. I think it's almost back. Yeah, I don't think there's any caution now. I think a lot of people have sort of embraced it and it's back, yeah.
We've been very well supported by York as an independent in a pandemic. We have relief on our business rates, and also all sorts of independent sort of societies and campaigns have helped us with sort of our marketing and setting up and growing our customer base.
With still a lot of empty storefronts and vacant lots like this one behind me, we spoke to the council to see what they are implementing to businesses and to see how they feel about the downfall of the high street.
Well, clearly, during the pandemic, numbers dramatically decreased in the city centre as non-essential shops were forced to remain closed. But what we did as a council, just as the pandemic was emerging, that we pooled resources with the Business Improvement District to refine how we measure the number of people coming into the city centre and whereabouts they're coming from and how much they're spending. So when things did start to reopen, York bounced back faster than many large city centres. In fact, we were in the top 5 and the only one without being on the seaside. So that did demonstrate that there was good connection, in particular with residents. So we're able to see that people who lived very close to the city reconnected very quickly with what was on offer in the city centre and neighbourhood shopping areas.
Despite the fact that there are still some empty storefronts in the city centre, there still seems to be some businesses holding on, and it's clearly evident that we are heading back to pre-pandemic levels on the high street. This has been Megan Eccles, Yorkie News.
Way with a heatwave expected to hit the UK at the end of next week. But don't get the sun cream out too quick, as the weather can be harmful for the planet. More on this is Olivia Wilson talking to Simon Ross.
A 9-day mini heatwave with temperature highs of 20 degrees is forecast for this weekend. York citizens are already planning how they will spend their days in the sun.
I think it'll be nice to just, have time to spend outside and everything. It'll be lovely, yeah.
I'm probably going to be working for when the heatwave comes, but I hope I'm in the museum gardens at some point just chilling and having a good time with my pals.
The heatwave is coming, and many people around York are excited to get out into the sunshine. However, have you ever thought about how heat waves affect the environment?
According to the UK Met Office, researchers say there's a 50-50 chance that the world will warm by way over 1.5 degrees over the next 5 years. But where do heat waves come into this? Is global warming increasing the number of heat waves we are experiencing? And what effect do heat waves have on the City of York's environment?
The effect of the heat wave will depend very much on the conditions before the heat wave. But if you assume you've had a low period of rainfall like we have, you could expect to see low levels of oxygen, suddenly fish in distress, and low river levels. The likelihood of more heat waves is greater, but we are experiencing more extremes of weather, which scientists are largely putting down to climate change.
We may have a few days of sun soaking to enjoy in the coming days, but we should remain aware of how this sun is affecting our environment. How can we help?
So many little things you can do. One thing you should probably look at is the whole life costs of items. It's not just the use of carbon on that particular thing, but also the production and disposal of it. From my perspective, keeping water in the environment is a good thing, so therefore reduce water use. Every litre of water that's produced for your consumption has to be taken from the environment and has to be pumped around the system for you to use. So using less reduces your carbon footprint.
It's clear that heat waves do have an effect on our environment and we must stay vigilant. However, it is exciting that we have a few days of sun to enjoy in the city of York.
Liv Wilson is here now to tell us more about the impact of the warm weather. So Liv, are you excited for the heat wave?
Yeah, I am excited. I mean, everyone loves the sun, but after researching for this package, I've realised how much heat waves affect the environment.
So what are your top tips for surviving the heat?
I'd say stay in the shade as much as possible, bring your sun cream, and just cool off if you're getting too hot.
Do you think people should be paying more attention to the warmer weather and its impact it's having on global warming?
Yes, definitely. I think that a lot of people see heat waves as a good thing because obviously we don't get a lot of sun over here, but they do actually impact the environment quite a bit. And it is a result of global warming, which we do need to think about reducing as much as possible.
That's great, thank you, Liv. Last week we saw the opening of York Flower Show at All Saints Church on North Street. They marked the occasion with a bell ringing and an announcement from the town crier. More on this with Hannah Thompson.
From the 5th to the 8th of May, York Flower Festival gave residents of the city a chance to enjoy beautiful bouquets arranged by the students of Askham Bryan College. The event was supported by the Heritage Lottery Project, and I had the chance to speak with Chairman David Titchener.
I'm David Titchener. I'm Chairman of the Heritage Lottery Project at All Saints North Street. We were fortunate to get a grant to conserve and restore the stained glass windows in this church, and the Flower Festival, which is on this weekend, is part of the package, which is part of the Heritage Lottery Project. It's on for 3 days, and students and floristry students from Askham Bryan College have prepared these wonderful floral displays for us for this weekend. This venue, of course, is All Saints Church, North Street, dating back to the 1100s, with some of the finest medieval stained glass in the parish church in this country. The oldest window, which is in the Lady Chapel, it dates from 1330.
All flowers that were used in the show have been made up into bouquets and scattered around the city for people to find and enjoy for themselves or gift to a loved one.
It was beautiful. It was surprising to me because I didn't know what to expect when I walked past. I just think anything now that pulls the community back together when we've all been sort of isolated and a bit strange about going out. It's just lovely to walk through York and see something like this. It's just there.
The flowers, the students from Askham Bryan are going to wrap the flowers up, the ones which have still got some life in them, going to wrap them up and distribute them around the city so that people can pick them up and take them home or give them to people they know about. And there's a little card with them which says, please enjoy these flowers, or pass them on to a friend and enjoy them while they've still got some life in them.
Organisers hailed the event as a huge success, and the people of York can now look forward to receiving their own piece of these stunning floral displays. Hannah Thompson, Yorkie TV.
And now for the sport with Jason Whiting.
Thank you, Natasha. York City have made it to the playoffs in a battle to reach the final at Wembley. York secured a home tie in the Venara National League North Playoff Eliminator after the weekend's 1-1 draw at AFC Telford. With more than 5,000 tickets sold, York are expected to comfortably set a new attendance record at the LNER Community Stadium, which opened last year following the move from Booth and Crescent. York City manager John Askew insisted that although he was pleased with the sides finishing with 5th, it will mean nothing unless the team perform well in the playoffs. It's the first time the club have been in the playoffs since 2007. Fans are also saying farewell to the man dubbed the voice of York City. The BBC's Barry Parker will hang up his microphone after more than 2 decades commentating on the club. He said he had enjoyed many wonderful years doing a job that he loved and being paid for it, witnessing some of the Minster men's many highs and lows. And finally, as the summer weather arrives, at long last, the cricket season is already well underway. Yorkshire coach Otis Gibson was disappointed with the draw against Essex this weekend. He said he felt like they spent a lot of time and got nowhere despite a century in both innings from Alistair Cook. Yorkshire have now drawn 3 games and won 1 in Division 1. That's all from this week's sport. Back to you, Natasha.
Thank you, Jason. Here's to York FC getting to Wembley. It should be an exciting night, whatever the result. As we have heard, the weather is set to be warming up this week, with moderate showers on Wednesday. That's all from Yorkie News today. Have a lovely afternoon. Goodbye.